All right, let's buzz around the rest of the National Football League. Plenty of great games in the National Football League, and we're not going to let the Bengals, completely ruin our love for football here. Some great things happened, and you're seeing a lot of balance in the league as a lot of the top-heavy teams, right, falling this week in the National Football League. We'll start with what happened across the pond. Vikings beat the Browns, which is big, by the way. I mean, nobody views Cleveland as a threat, but if Baltimore continues to lose, I think we're all just kind of waiting for Pittsburgh to falter here soon. The Browns losing is very noteworthy, and it also shows you that, wow, the Browns were able to, basically have control of that game for a long time, and the Bengals got completely blown out with Jake Browning. We were banging on Dylan Gabriel, saying he didn't have a shot, saying he wasn't going to be the guy. Hand up accountability. He played solid in the game. Do I think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback? No, but I'll give him credit where credit is due. He had Cleveland in a spot where they could win that game, and he certainly, I think, put them in a better spot than Joe Flacco, and I think he deserves some credit for that. But Carson Wentz, able to find his playmakers late in that ball game. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, an impressive drive to end that game against a really good defense. And he was able to get it to his playmakers and give them a position to win late in that ballgame, and he was banged up there as well. And Vikings get that one 21-17. The Indianapolis Colts, there's always that one team that kind of surprises and shocks you a little bit, and I think Indianapolis is that team here in 2025. A huge win over Vegas, 40-6. Real quickly on Vegas, Tom Brady obviously is a part owner in the Las Vegas Raiders. He wanted nothing to do with Sam Darnold, and he wanted to go with Geno Smith. Dumb decision from Tom Brady. I think that Vegas team looks totally different if it's Sam Darnold running Chip Kelly's offense. Obviously, that is not what is transpiring right now. It is Geno Smith, and that's a massive mistake from Tom Brady and company. But the Colts, Daniel Jones looks like a really solid NFL quarterback, and we all kind of predicted that Lou Anarumo would land on his feet. He's got some more veteran guys on that defense. They're flying around making plays, and obviously he just kind of looks like a scapegoat now in Cincinnati at this point because he's doing great things for Indianapolis. Big-time win for them. I think they got to be favorites to win that South Division. Let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. Speaking of the South Division, Houston Texans, they looked horrible, leading up to that game. They had a big win the week prior against Tennessee. I get that. But 44-10 against Baltimore. Did not see that one coming. I was here, and I was expecting Baltimore to bounce back. I get it. I looked at the injury report. I knew all the guys that they were missing, but I thought Harbaugh was going to allow them to compete, and I thought the defense would improve a little bit, but that's a Houston offense that hasn't been able to do anything, hasn't been able to run the football, and they they scored 44 points on the Baltimore Ravens. It's crazy how far they have fallen. You think about the Ravens, you think about Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, guys flying around making plays, Terrell Suggs. Those guys obviously haven't played in quite some time, but that kind of mentality and that culture still has kind of carried over in recent years, and this year it's completely gone because that might be the worst defense in the National Football League, which saying that for a Baltimore Raven AFC North football team is absolutely wild, but Ravens get blown out, and they're in serious trouble. You could say they're in worse trouble than the Bengals. Obviously, Lamar is probably going to come back at some point over the course of the next couple of weeks, but this is very noteworthy. Obviously, people are down on the Bengals, and you should be. They're one of the worst teams in pro football right now, but if the team that we all thought was a lock to win the division is going to continue to have a worse record than you, that's very noteworthy because I think it's only a matter of time before Pittsburgh starts to, really drop off and just kind of hang around 500. Bengals obviously one game under 500. Is there much optimism that they can increase that? No, right? I totally get that, but 2-3 right now, and if the division continues to stink, there's opportunity there, especially as it relates to somebody making his return this winter. He'll come back if he's healthy and they still have a chance, but, obviously not much reason to be optimistic as it relates to that here at this point. Saints pick up their first win, 26-14 against the Giants. You saw Dart look good at times. You saw him look like a rookie at times. Had the interceptions, on fourth down, having to, try to throw it up, make a play. I don't think he deserves a lot of criticism for that. Scadaboo, the rookie, had the big fumble for them. Credit to Kellen Moore. He picks up his first win. Spencer Rattler was solid in the game, and, he allowed them an opportunity to win that football game. And I think a lot of people, myself included, coming in the year said the Saints are the worst team in football. Would the Bengals beat the Saints right now? I don't know. That remains to be seen. Well, I guess it won't be seen because they're not on the schedule, but we can continue to ponder that. Broncos beat the Eagles 21-17. Philadelphia was undefeated at that point, but you were looking at the statistics and some of the issues that they had, and the fact that they were winning games was, I'm not going to say it was a miracle, but they kind of were winning some games when they probably could have been losing some games. They had a big lead in this game, felt like they had dominated it early, but credit to Sean Payton and Bo Nix. Sean Payton's unbelievable. He pushed all the right buttons. He goes for 2 in that spot instead of tying the game, gives them an 18-17 lead at the time, really applies pressure to them on the road, and that's a big-time win for Denver. So I guess that makes Cincinnati's loss last week look a little bit better because they just knocked off the team that most people viewed as the best team in professional football. It's a huge win for Denver. They're starting to look like a playoff team, and the Eagles, they'll bounce back. They'll be just fine. No worries about them. How about Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys? No CeeDee Lamb. No Micah Parsons. The weaponry that he has is, Flournoy, the guy he's thrown to. Pickens only had a couple of catches. The tight end, Ferguson, Schoonmaker. I mean, the guys he's thrown to are not elite by any stretch of the imagination. And Dak Prescott is playing MVP caliber football at this point. As we know with the MVP award, if your team doesn't make the playoffs and your team stinks, you're not going to win it. But Dak Prescott is playing the position at an elite level. I get he's playing the Jets, who, by the way, might be worse than the Bengals. We'll find out in a couple of weeks there in that game. But Dak Prescott's playing unbelievable. Big win from Dallas on the road, 37-22. Panthers beat the Dolphins. Had the Dolphins as one of the best bets of the weekend. Obviously, that did not go well for us as we drop under 500 on that, but it's a long season. Plenty of opportunity for us to bounce back as it relates to best bets of the weekend there. But Dolphins dominating that game, 17-0 on the road. Tua looked great. And then the Panthers came storming back. Had some bad turnovers there, a bad interception from Bryce Young, a bad fumble from Bryce Young. But the key to that game was the ground game. Rico Dowdle was unbelievable in the game. Panthers rushed for 229 yards, and the Dolphins rushed for 19 yards. Dolphins didn't even turn the football over, and they allowed Carolina to storm back in that game and win it. Heartbreaking loss for the best bets of the weekend, and that's a big-time loss for McDaniel because there, when he's up 17-0, you're going, all right, they're going to get a win here on the road, pick up another win, back-to-back wins, and they might be all right as far as him keeping his job. They lose to Carolina. That obviously is a serious issue for them. Game of the weekend, Buccaneers and Seahawks. Mentioned Sam Darnold earlier. Brady could have had him in Vegas, didn't want him. Massive mistake. Seahawks certainly fired up to have him. He's terrific, and Baker Mayfield is terrific as well. 38-35, they get the win. Emeka Egbuka looks like he's going to win Rookie of the Year. My concern coming into the year wasn't a concern, but I was like, yeah, Emeka's going to be great, but Cam Ward's probably going to be good enough to win the award. Titans pick up their first win. We'll touch on them in a second. But Emeka Egbuka is unbelievable for them. And what he's been able to do without Mike Evans is huge there as well. It's one thing to be great with Mike Evans out on the field with you. That's not what you're getting right now with Mike Evans being sidelined. Egbuka has been terrific. Baker and the Buccaneers obviously are winning these. They're getting these game-winning drives, kicking these game-winning field goals. They're going to be up even more on my power rankings despite the fact that they're winning in this kind of fashion. But they're winning football games. And it doesn't feel like Kansas City last year where they're just kind of getting lucky and winning these one-score games. Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay are really going out there and grabbing the bull by the horns and executing late in the game. It's been terrific to see. And with teams faltering at the top of the NFL, you got to view Tampa Bay as one of the best teams in the league. Going to Seattle and winning in that environment, you're a Florida team going all the way to Seattle and playing that game. They deserve a lot of credit. Baker Mayfield should be getting a little MVP buzz because he's been doing terrific things for Tampa Bay. What a fun team to watch. Game of the weekend. Titans get their first win, 22-21 over the Cardinals. I saw some of the clips of that game. Just a complete craziness, right? If you're a Cardinal fan, I don't know how you don't throw your TV or your remote through your television set because that was just a complete collapse, complete meltdown. Opportunity to have the game-clinching touchdown. You fumble it because you're getting ready to celebrate before you cross. You have the interception, and then that guy fumbles, and it's recovered in the end zone by Tennessee. That's a touchdown. The snap off Kyler's face acts like a bomb hit him in the face. Just awful game for Arizona. But credit to Callahan, picking up his first win of the year. Cam Ward gets his first win. Congratulations to them, 22-21. Another shocker, 27-10. The Commanders beat the Chargers. They get Jaden Daniels back. He was good, not great in the game. Justin Herbert couldn't get much going. He had Madison Beer with him there pregame. That was good to see. Good for him as it relates to that. Just kidding. 10-0. They were up in that game, and then 27 unanswered for the Commanders. Commanders as they come back and win that game. Did not see that one coming at all, and maybe the Chargers aren't as good as I thought, as they've struggled the past 2 weeks now, dropping 2 straight to 2 NFC East opponents who, the Commanders, a lot of people, they went to the championship game last week. A lot of people view them as a playoff team. I certainly do myself. Giants rookie quarterback. Those are 2 bad losses, and this one was at home. Maybe we need to pump the brakes a little bit on the Chargers, and don't blink now, but if the Chiefs win tonight, they're getting ready to, chase down that AFC West again, and after being written off by so many people. And then a big-time upset last night. Patriots beat the Bills 23-20. We view the Bills as, one of the best teams in the National Football League. They lose. That's just a classic Vrabel game, right? Going on the road, primetime game, nobody giving you a chance and finding a way. Just a gutsy victory. Been a big Drake May believer here at the show. He's definitely the guy for them going forward and needs to continue to, get better, make better decisions with the football, and certainly needs some more help around him. But he's definitely a franchise quarterback. He's everything you want in a franchise quarterback. The way he handles himself at the podium, the kind of teammate he is, the toughness, just the arm strength, everything about him is what you want, and he's going to be just fine in New England, and that's a big-time win, probably the biggest win of his career as they win that one 23-20. But upsets all over the place in the National Football League. That's good. Means more parity, means the league is more balanced, and that certainly makes it very, very exciting to watch, as it was a great week of professional football this weekend.